everybody, Lisa here with Rosie and another Vera Bradley bag of the day. Today I'm sort of doing a combo viewer request and showing a bag and switching out from a bag to another bag because I got a request from Kimberly just a little while ago asking if I could show how I pack up a factory style large Glenna tote. And show it on, packed up, which I do. I do show it on and packed up in my top 10 spring patterns video, but I didn't really show how I have it packed up in that video. I do show it in Penelope's garden, but I'm gonna pack up my Scattered Wildflowers version. But right now I have all my stuff in this newly acquired, there's a dog bone about to fall, okay. Seawater Blooms Performance Twill Work Tote. People probably know from watching some of my other videos. They may know a while back I did a couple of videos on the Performance Twill a few pattern seasons ago, and I'll try to put links to those videos down below. But I love the Work Tote. I love it as an alternative to the Vera, although I love the Vera. The Work Tote is a little shorter. It's not as tall, and so it has a little bit more of a rectangular look rather than being a big gigantic square. It is about the same width this way from side to side, east-west. But this shortened height sometimes just makes it a little bit more manageable. So I have all my stuff in here right now, and it's a lot. Let's see if I can show it. And then I'll try to get as much of this as I can into the large Glenna tote and show how I put it in there. Oh, there's a loose thread here. So when this pattern released and I saw that I was so thrilled to see that they had it in the Work Tote, because I feel like they don't, like they didn't do a blue or Work Tote, and I started to get worried that maybe, the Work Tote's, going bye-bye, which seems to happen whenever I love a style. So I was really so over the moon to see this when the preview went up before this went on sale. And I just unexpectedly got a customer loyalty coupon emailed to me, and I had store credits from returns, so this ended up being a pretty good deal, and so I thought, I'll get it. I'll treat myself and get it. I did get in the store because I had to make returns. And I had seen it in the store the last time I was in there making returns. And I just really like the pattern placement. I couldn't get it out of my head. But I do have a couple of haul situations coming up, and I will film those. But this is it for like big purchases until Hummingbird Park. Got to gear up. Got to save up for a Hummingbird Park, because I'm sure that's going to be some kind of like, nightmare spending spree for me. I've been waiting for that pattern for so long. But anyway, I just, I love these leaves. And so to see so many of them on this front pocket panel, it was hard to resist. And then even on the back, that's nice on the back there too. So I better get this, and I've got all the coupons and discounts right now, so I'm going to take advantage. The coupon was expiring, so anyway, you can get a lot in here. I've got everything in here that I put in my Vera tote, the regular size one. So, it's crammed. It's really crammed in there. Let me put it on before I start emptying it out. Let me put it on just so people can see what it looks like. Like I said, I've really got it packed, and so you can really see the width that you can get with this bag. But I don't know, some people may not like it packed so wide, but I love a bag that has width this way. I like a chubby looking bag. I don't like a bag that lies flat against my body like a pancake. Then I just think that looks kind of anemic. I like my bags to have some body. So again, you can see it's shorter this way, top to bottom, and it just makes it a little bit more manageable. And the other day, when it was raining here, I was using my Work Tote in Garden Dream, and the cashier at the grocery store commented on it that it was a pretty bag. And so I don't usually get a lot of reaction to the bags that I carry, and so that was nice, sort of affirmation. Yes, this is a good bag choice. Anyway, very comfortable. And the straps on this, which I will show up close, but the straps taper. It is a little slippery, you can see, sort of slipping. But I do sort of overlap the straps there so that the inner strap is over the outer strap, and it holds it in place pretty well. And the fact that these straps taper and do get thinner up at the part that's on your shoulder helps and sort of keeps them from sliding as much. The straps are a little bit more streamlined than on the Vera tote. Yeah, just love it. Love this bag. Very comfortable. It sits in the crook of my, it sits in my body. It hits my waist comfortably. Curve of my body. Okay, so and just to show this pattern again real close, so that people can see that sort of drop out shadow, lighter shadow detail in the background. Like I was saying in the last one of my haul videos where I got a little pillowcase in this, travel pillowcase in this. It very much has a kind of wax resist kind of feel, like when you hand paint on fabric and you use wax resist to keep dye off of certain areas of the fabric, and then you remove that wax resist, and this kind of has that look of how something looks once you remove wax resist from it. Just has that look about it, hand painted fabric look. What's nice about this palette too, I think I'm always talking about the color wheel and complementary colors, and this pattern actually is calmer, is much softer, and I think that has to do with a different kind of color relationship that's sort of being used here, which is analogous colors, meaning a group of colors that fall in an arc next to each other on the color wheel. So a section of contiguous colors on a color wheel, meaning they are next to each other. And so those kinds of colors are more in harmony with one another. They are more similar. So you would go from green to blue to violet kind of on the color wheel. And that's what's being used here. Then with the pop of the pink or red, which is so you would have an arc on one section of color wheel here, and then you would have a red falling opposite on a color wheel here. That's a little pop of color. So that's what's going on here with the pinks versus all the blues and greens and violet tones that you see. And then that pink is that pop of color from the other side of the color wheel. Just really well done. So anyway, okay, so what's the height of this bag anyway? I do go into this style bag more completely in my other videos, so I won't stay, go over too many of the details. I'm just curious now. What? About 11 to 12 inches maybe. So that is a little bit shorter than the Vera top to bottom. Okay, so I guess what I'll do, it's hard to see that. I will talk about the interior features here as I empty it out because it's hard to see them. But you can see one very different feature about this bag is that it has this laptop section. It's a padded laptop section in there with a sort of Velcro strap that's a little bit elasticized to keep things from slipping out. It would be interesting if this could be removed, but it can't. You can't remove this. And so I don't have my laptop in here right now because I'm filming with it, but you can see that it kind of gets a little wonky, that section, if you don't have something stiff in there. And I'm just, cramming stuff around there, so it kind of gets a little curved. But part of why that section does appeal to me is because I had this idea in my head that sometimes I might like to use this bag to carry regular stuff in, but also have my knitting in. And I could use this divider to separate the section. I could just put my knitting stuff in one section and keep it sort of safe from getting entangled in all the other normal bag junk. And so that's part of why this bag really appeals to me. So let's see how much. I do have all of my Vera Tote stuff in here, and I don't know how much of it I'm going to be able to fit in here, the large. It's the factory outlet style, again, the factory outlet style Large Glenna, which is very reminiscent of the pleated tote. But for some reason, I just like the top of it better. The pleated tote had that sort of section, like a panel, like up top. I like this a little bit better for some reason. So this inside has 3 sort of small-ish, medium-sized maybe, slip pockets on one side of the bag, and a decent-sized zipper pocket on the other. And, you know, a big slip pocket here. I just realized I still have the tag on here. I do that, you know, I sometimes I forget to remove the tags until I actually use the bag, and I haven't used this bag outside yet, although I did use this bag outside, and I think I don't remember cutting the tag off. Oh yeah, it's still on there. Alright, I gotta get my act together. Anyway, so it's got that big slip pocket here, and the east-west outer slip pockets. That's it on this one. Okay, so let's see what I can get in here. So, you know, it's been sitting on the shelf. It's been sitting on the shelf in the factory outlet store, and so it's got this, you know, tendency, this crease here worked in, and it has a tendency to want to fold. So I like to try to pack stuff up, and I tend to do this with all my bags. Pack the bag up so that it maintains its width this way. And so sometimes I have to use, you know, items to do that. But what I'll start with, something I usually start with, is my Carson cell phone crossbody, which I just, you know, use in my bag to protect my cell phone. And I decided to switch out to Fruit Grove, which I love. I love this pattern, especially because in the focus group that I'm in, way back when I was saying it would be nice to have patterns with fruit, and people were poo-pooing me, but then all these patterns with fruit came out, and so I felt very vindicated. Love this pattern. I love the colors in this pattern. Also, felt like it goes well with this. These patterns complement each other, probably because the color schemes are similar. Same kind of thing that I'm talking about. Analogous colors, green, blue, a little bit of yellow there. So you would have, you know, yellow, green, blue, that arc of the wheel. And then, you know, little pops of the reds and pinks from a more separate section of the color wheel. But it sort of picks up it's the same kind of concept you see here. The greens and the blues, and also violet, and then that, you know, the pops of the pink. A little bit more pastel in this color scheme, but I think it works. And so that's why I had this. So I wish they had made this in a tote bag, and they should put this in the custom fabric section so I can make my tote bag. So I tend to put, you know, I'll put this in the first slip pocket. When I say first, I mean the one that I tend to carry bags on my left shoulder right now most of the time. And so the zipper pull, it's open now obviously, but the zipper pull would be here towards the back. So this is the front. So that's that frontmost slip pocket. We'll get the cell phone. And then my hand sanitizer we'll get in the second one. So, you know, you can see it in there. Ooh, sorry. And then I have store loyalty cards somewhere in here. Where are they? Here they are. Also in a slip pocket. And I tend to keep these in a slip pocket in the Vera Tote. That's what's so great about the Vera Tote is those 6 slip pockets. You can have a dedicated spot for everything. So here I kind of have to, you know, rearrange stuff. But I'm going to put this in the 3rd slip pocket just because I'm used to going for it there, and I don't want it to get lost in the depths of the bag. You can sort of see it in there. You can't really see it in there. Okay, so then I want to start to try to put stuff in to help keep it this way, open this way, from not collapsing. And so that's when a turn lock wallet. This is Anchors Aweigh. That's when a turn lock wallet comes in handy because it's nice and wide. So I stick it right down the front of the bag, sort of flat. Yeah. You know, like that. I'm just going to put my pouches in. This is, I should switch out into a more summery looking pouch. But I've got my gloves in this Merry Mischief pouch. This is the pouch that came with the Grand Tote. And I've got masks in my Ellie Go Round pouch. So I just sort of slip those in. Oh. And so they're just sort of in there vertical. And also, my GPS. I have been carrying this around in a medium cosmetics, a larger pouch, but it was feeling like in both of these, both of the Work Tote and in this, that the medium cosmetic was kind of blousy around my GPS, and it was taking up unnecessary space. And so I went down to the mini cosmetic, and this is Dragon Fruit Floral. I love this pattern. I'm putting it vertical right now because this is a slightly smaller bag, I feel like, than the Vera. So it's in there vertically. And then, now normally, if I really were hurting for space, I might forego this, I might leave this, but this is a vintage paperback book cover, and I just use it to keep a pad of Post-it notes in there, like if I want to make notes about something. And this is Tavern on the Green, good vintage pattern. So I just put that in there sort of by the GPS. Along with pens. Even though I'll get to it and I'll show it, but in the Work Tote there are dedicated slips for pens. My pens need to be contained in something. Because I have that fear that I want to say it's irrational, but it's not irrational. That pens with the retractable points the point might somehow be depressed and come out. You know, when I'm unaware of it, and it might mark the inside, the lining of the bag. And you see that when you're looking at stuff on Mercari or Poshmark. Maybe not so much with Vera. I haven't noticed it on Vera, or people aren't showing it. But I look at other types of bags, like, for example, Tokidoki, especially their Le Sport Sac collaboration bags, which I love. And those have nylon linings, and a lot of the times people will show, and they're being upfront, they're showing pictures of the lining, and the lining has pen marks. Now, this is why I do this. So I just shoved that in there. You can see the top of it there. I do have something that I'm probably going to try switch out for this use that I just got in the online outlet sale, but everything's coming in dribs and drabs, so I'm waiting for everything to arrive. Be efficient and have to do it so many haul videos. And then, okay, so now, just like with the front of the bag where I am using my turn lock to keep the bag from collapsing and keeping a nice shape, I use my IDs with photos on the back end of the bag in the same way because it has this nice width this way. If I need space, I won't always carry all these with me, but I'll always have one. I always have one of Duke with me, but I do like to have them all because I do have my husband and my father and my parents' wedding photo and stuff in here. So anyway, I shove it in the back end of the bag. Ooh. Down to the bottom. It's catching on something. Hold on a sec. It's catching on my pocket. Okay. There we go. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. But we'll give it a shot because it's down deep in there. You can sort of see them up. It's up on the top there, but they're shoved down to the bottom. And so that really helps this stay open like this and not collapse. And then on top of that, I put whatever pouch I'm using for this tissues and lip balm. And so sometimes I use a mini dome cosmetic for that, but now I'm using right now I'm using the mini zip pouch from the latest New Hope Girls collaboration. Into the monkeys right now. This one is such a good bag. I mean, this particular one, because it's so tiny, or you would think it's hard to get a lot of critters. You're happy with just one, because I got some of these that don't have anything. But then I got another monkey and the bird. A monkey on the bottom there. So, you know, it's so funny that this is such a little one, little piece, and it got so many good critters, and then you get other ones and there's nothing. Anyway, I just put it in right on top, you know, the long way, again, like with the IDs, but I put it right on top of the IDs and see if they're up top. So, this is another thing, this is a Lighten Up Medium Cosmetic. This is Petite Vines, love this powder. This is another one that they should make it into cotton and put it in the custom fabrics, please. So I can make my Vera tote out of this. But, you know, I like this because it's very malleable and it can conform to whatever space I have. And for the most part, it does. But on occasion, I will swap out to something a little bit smaller if I need to for space. But I'm going to see if I can shove it in on the other side of the bag. It does seem to be going in. This is exactly why I like this, because it does conform. Like I said, it just really can fit in well. So you can see it, hopefully, up top there. And in the center of this, in this laptop sleeve right now, I just have my iPad mini, and taken to carrying a reusable bag of some kind, because and giving these to my dad. I was in New York last time I was in New York visiting my dad. I couldn't figure out, he's elderly, you know, so he's not so hip to like buying, you know, getting reusable shopping bags and things like that. He's old school. And I noticed that his grocery store is not giving them plastic bags anymore. I think there might be some kind of rule in Manhattan now about that. There's some restriction or something. I mean, on the one hand, I do like that concept. Yes, we should all be sort of environmentally aware. But I also, there's a part of me, the more jaded part of me, that doesn't appreciate the inconvenience it's causing my elderly father. But also, I feel like it's a distraction. I mean, they're going to have people worrying about about their reusable plastic bags. But what about Exxon? What about all these large corporations that are polluting the environment and drilling willy-nilly for oil, you know, and not encouraging sustainable forms of energy, wind, solar, all that. But they're going to have people feel bad about their plastic bags. So, you know, anyway. Let's not get off my little soapbox. So I carry this now, which is fabric, and I did get one for my dad, and I think I'll give him another one, but that's what this is, and so I fold it up and just stick it, because the last time I was in Manhattan, I was running to this store. This is a great restaurant, by the way. It's Flor de Mayo. There are 2 locations on the west side of Manhattan, and I highly recommend this restaurant. Love the guys who run the one by where I used to live that I still go to. Great guys. And best sangria you've ever had, and also just great Latino, Chino Latino. It's one of those combo style restaurants that Manhattan is kind of known for, or used to be anyway, in the 70s and the 80s. And this is a remaining one, and it's great. Anyway, Flor de Mayo, I definitely recommend it. But I was going to get takeout from them, and so I run into the supermarket to get my dad some milk. And I'm standing in line with my milk, and I was thinking, oh, right, they're not going to give me a plastic bag. What am I going to do? So I just threw it all with the condensation all over it from the dairy, you know, the refrigerator case, just threw it in my Vera tote. You know, at least I had a big bag with me. But anyway, so I'll give this to my dad, or I give one to my dad, and I'm walking around with this now for, you know, just that kind of emergency situation. Emergency milk buying situation. Anyway, so I have that. So let me see if I can stick those in here somewhere, and then I can show the features in there. Maybe I'll just throw them in this zipper pocket here. The iPad will stick out the top, but that's fine. That's usually how it is in most of my bags. I don't worry about that. So in that top zip pocket. So here, oh, and one more thing in here. My Fruit Grove, I think this was like a mini travel case or something, a jewelry case, travel jewelry case. I use it for my Easy Pass. I've talked about that in other videos. But again, just love the Fruit Grove. I actually ordered 2 of these because I wanted a good watermelon front and center. And I didn't get a good watermelon on the other one. So I ordered another one. And I was going to return the other one, but then I realized this is good, you know, to just keep other things, not jewelry, in. And so I'm keeping them both. You know, like maybe that would be something I could put a charger cord in, you know, when I want something more compact, you know, just wrap it up and shove it in here. So anyway, just a great pattern. I love the cherries. For some reason, every time I see cherries in a pattern, I always say to myself, ciliegie. For some reason, I always go to the Italian word for cherries in my head. Anyway, so I just throw that on top. That's fine. That's what I tend to do in most bags. I don't always carry this with me, but if I'm driving somewhere on the highway, I'd like to take it just in case something happens, a detour or something, and I'm going to hit a toll road. I take that. So that's why that's in there. So now you really can see the inside here just real quick. So one side just has a big, and it's a real generous size zipper pocket. That's a great size. I mean, I feel like I could even get my larger iPad in there. And this, you know, again, the lining. I've shown the lining before, but, you know, so pretty. Just such a pretty lining, really. Such a pretty leaf. Almost has looks like a fossil. You know, like when you see those photographs of imprints of leaves in stone or clay, you know, earth from prehistoric times. And this sort of leaf print, the leaf isn't there anymore. It's disintegrated, but the impression that it made in the earth is there. That's what they almost look prehistoric to me. And so again, the Velcro on the, you know, the laptop sleeve, which is padded, feels like it's got foam on both sides. And then this side has a bit more, this side has a bit more organization in it. So on the sleeve, the side of the sleeve, you've got one big slip pocket, then a narrower slip pocket here, and then next to that are these 3 pen slots, which, like I said, I'll never use. my pens need to be contained. Thank you very much. But I'm sure maybe you could find something else to put in there. Well, I'm not someone who would be carrying around makeup brushes, so. But, you know, if I were, maybe. And on the other wall, these 2 nice big slip pockets. So just great. I mean, I'm not someone who insists on a lot of pocket organization for bags. That's not a deal breaker for me when I'm buying a bag, but I really do like them. I do make use of them in this bag, and I really do like them. I appreciate them in this bag. So just a great bag. Okay, so it does seem like I was able to get everything in there. It is crammed. And the Easy Pass thing on top. And I can zip it, though. Can zip it. This is a nice plastic zipper, matching color. This is such a pretty print, this Scattered Wildflowers, because it reminds me, it's a very country store kind of pattern, which is appropriate for where I'm living now. But, you know, I'm wearing this in Manhattan. Who cares? Nobody cares. And I love that it's navy, and it reads as navy, as I said before. I mean, you know, none of this annoying, is the background navy or black? Well, it looks black to me. Well, I think it's navy. This is navy, and I like that it looks navy. Navy is such an elegant color. You know, navy is like that kind of color, I don't know if you, like I studied a lot of art history, and you always see Mary in navy. In religious paintings, Mary is usually in navy. It's a regal kind of elegant color. But it also, the pattern, this kind of reminds me of like a calico. I mean, I know calico is like a type of fabric, but it also came to sort of refer to the type of pattern. And a calico pattern, or almost like a ditzy pattern, tends to be sort of a multicolored, small, often floral kind of motif. And so nice here that this deep pink, azalea kind of pink, is very bright and it's giving you a nice pop, but it's also got a softness to it. It's not harsh. So really, it's a good, successful color palette here, I think. Really good. Say that 3 times fast. And this kind of fabric also really reminds me of Little House on the Prairie when I was younger and reading that series of books from Laura Ingalls Wilder. And she would talk a lot in the books. It really made an impression on me when she talked about them making, obviously they made their clothing. They sewed their own dresses and stuff. And she and her sister, I think her sister's name was Mary, right? She had an older sister, Mary, who was blind. And they had different coloring. I remember like Mary was blonde and Laura was a brunette, and their mother had certain like hair ribbons for each one, dedicated to each one, because certain colors had to be in certain color hair, certain color ribbons went with certain color hair. And they're talking about calico fabric, talking about the fabrics that they were making their dresses from. And this is what I kind of, this goes with that vision I have in my head, or those stories. So, not everyone here that Beverly Cleary just passed away. That's sad, although she lived a good long life, 104. Very, famous children's book author. Okay, so here it is on. Again, sort of like the Work Tote, gets some nice width there. It is bigger though, it's taller. Here. Let's see. Ooh. This is the large Glenna. I hope that's what I've been calling it, not the large Vera. It's a little bit taller. It looks a little bit taller. This is a little bit wider, east-west wise. But I do like it. Just slightly smaller than the large Vera. So a little bit less in your face, like, gee, I'm carrying a humongous bag. It's, a dainty pattern, but it looks nice even from a distance. Looks nice. You can see the colors even from a distance. Is that red? That pinkish red, that's a good choice. Very nice. Love the navy. Very comfortable. I haven't used this one out, but I have used the Penelope's Garden one out, and I went to the store with that, and I didn't have any trouble with the straps staying on my shoulders. They stayed on real good, and I have a softness to them, slight padded feeling. And again, it's nice to have the hardware here, so that when this strap just drops and lays flat against the bag when you're sort of opening it to look around. It's nice. Very, very pleased. Anyway, so that was it. I hope that was helpful. Along with all of my ramblings about Little House on the Prairie and recycling. Come for the bags. Stay for the mindless chatter. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully see you next time on Vera Bradley Bag of the Day, when I hope to maybe have some haul videos again.